4th of July fireworks came early for the Falmouth Commodores in this one as they blew out the Bourne Braves 13-3 with 22 hits on the scoreboard. I'm Blaine McCormick, he's Justin Glanty, and he's Kyle Kirchhoff. Kyle, it seemed as though that the Commodores just hit extra base hit after extra base hit after home run after home run. How were the hitters really seeing the ball, and what does it mean for this Bourne pitching staff to really step up tomorrow when they face them again?
Well, you have to give a lot of credit to Falmouth because really all of those 22 hits, about, 3 or 4 of them weren't hit all that hard. The rest of them were hit very sharply. We saw 2 home runs tonight at Bourne Park, which doesn't happen a whole often. We got a couple extra base hits tonight, and really Falmouth just took advantage of their opportunities when it came to working the counts against Nick Bennett. First of all, is really Nick came out and was kind of working backwards, where he was going off speed, then going fastball, and eventually they seemed to catch on a little bit. They were creating opportunities back in the first inning. They left the bases loaded, and Bennett got out of it. But really, that was kind of the beginning where we saw that Falmouth was coming out firing and that they were going to create opportunities left and right. And tonight they did that. They came through with a bunch of 2-out hits, and they hit the long ball. And anytime you do that, things typically go well.
Now, this is the first time that the Braves saw the Commodores this season in 2017, but they have to face them once again tonight, this time in Falmouth. How difficult is it to get beat around like this and then have to play the same team again the very next day?
Well, I think the most difficult part about it is that the Commodores forced the Braves to use a good portion of their bullpen, so they won't have the full complement of relief pitchers tomorrow. On the good side of things, Linsman didn't get used, Feltner didn't get used, so those guys are available tomorrow. You're going to look for a good start from Chris Holba to turn things around. If you're Bourne, you really just have to forget this game. I mean, it ended up being so bad that you just forget about it. Hopefully things go better tomorrow. I mean, Falmouth has a good offense, but they're not going to get 22 hits every night. So probably no matter what, tomorrow will be better.
And on the broadcast, you guys said that it was the most hits by a Cape League team this season right now at 22. As a pitcher, what's your mentality when you come into the game at that situation? You already know that you're down, 10-3, whatever the score is at the time, and then you come in from the bullpen at that position. What's it like for a pitcher's mentality to come out on the mound and have to face a dominant team like we saw today?
You got to throw strikes. You have to come in assuming that it's a 0-0 game, and you just cannot let the scoreboard get to you. Really, at the end of the day, you don't want to say this, but the wins and losses in the league essentially don't matter to guys that are coming out of the bullpen, because really they're here to continue their progress and continue working on stuff that they're going to bring into the spring. So obviously wins and losses matter, but you can't come in harping on the fact that you're down by 10 runs. If you do that, then you've already beat yourself, and it doesn't even matter at that point. So you just have to come in and throw strikes, and really if you throw strikes and you get hit around, that's all that can happen. On the bright side of things tonight, the Braves didn't walk too many hitters, and when they threw strikes, they just got hit. This is a good offensive team. You just got to come in and say, I'm going to throw strikes, I'm going to pound the zone, and whatever happens, happens.
It seemed as though one of the Commodores that really stood out for this game was Josh Bro, and he's got an older brother, a brother, Joe Bro, as well. They both go to community college at McLennan Community College, and we don't see a lot of community college guys here on the Cape. If you're Josh Bro in this situation, how good does it feel to have this game with the home run that he hit and the confidence that he's going into tomorrow facing the same team as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's very impressive what he's done to be here from community college. Was actually drafted this year. The thing is that there are a lot of guys in the Cape that spent a year or two at community college and then end up at a Division I school, or maybe go from D1 to community college back to D1, things like that. There just aren't that many that started in D1 or started in community college and stay in community college. So it's impressive what he's done, but he's clearly a very good hitter. Had 19 home runs and 81 RBIs this year. He's doing quite the good job, but I mean, things have changed. Community college doesn't have the same kind of stigma that it did about who wants to go to community college.
Yeah.
It's a good starting place for a lot of people. It also allows you to keep playing for a year if you don't want to sit out because of transfer rules. Then you can go back to D1, but you're right, it's unique that we see a guy with the CC next to his name on our scorecard.
And that's got to feel good for the scouting reports for him too. If you're at a CC but you're in the Cape Cod Baseball League, a well-respected pitching league and hitters league all around, that's got to look good on your resume. But we'll get to our players of the game segment right now. I have a unique take on this player of the game because mine goes to head coach Harvey Shapiro. He was honored at the beginning of the game with a plaque, and his whole family was out there. His grandson actually was able to throw out the first pitch and Harvey was able to catch it behind home plate. A very special moment for the Shapiro family. So I want to give my tip of the cap to all of that family. A great moment here at Bourne Park.
Yeah, absolutely. Tip of the cap to the skip, and I got to give my player of the game to Andy Atwood tonight, because how often do you see an outfielder coming in? I mean, obviously, if you're ever going to see it, it's going to be in a game that's 13-3. But Andy came in and was hands down the most effective pitcher for the Braves tonight. Threw an inning, struck out a guy, and Justin and I were on the broadcast looking, going, when was the last time this guy pitched? We were in high school. We're looking through collegiately. He hadn't faced anyone since, we would assume, high school. And he comes into the Cape Cod Baseball League and throws a scoreless inning and picks up a strikeout. So not a bad debut collegiately for him, so he gets my play of the game.
Yeah, I think it has to be Atwood. I agree with Kyle. He also had the RBI single, which was nice, but he was throwing hard. He looked impressive, and anybody who can put together 3 outs on a night where you give up 22 hits is good for the team. Finally got the game over with, and regroup, get back to tomorrow, and hopefully for the Braves, turn things around.
Well, the Braves will try to regroup once again. They face the Commodores again. This time, they're traveling south to Falmouth. And on this July 4th weekend, it's got to be fun to go to these baseball games and have all the patriotism, all the American flags, all the fireworks that we hear too. I mean, we still hear them now off in the distance. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in to Tomahawk Talk, and hopefully you are enjoying this 4th of July weekend as much as we are here out in Cape Cod. Thanks again for listening to Tomahawk Talk. He's Justin Galanti. He's Kyle Kirchville. I'm Blaine McCormick. Happy Independence Day weekend.